In this question, we are given the equation of a circle in the general form. And out of this, we are asked to calculate the radius. All right. So normally with a question like this, the aim is to try to write the equation in the standard form. The standard form of the equation of the circle looks like this: x minus h squared plus y minus k squared is equal to r squared, where h comma k is the center. Remember, it's in the xy plane. And then r is what? The radius. I remember here we are given the r squared, right? The radius squared in the equation. So whenever you do the calculation, pay close attention. Whatever you get for this, you have to find the square root, right? Depending on what the question is asking. But normally they will ask you for the radius, right? So what do we do here? Let's write out our equation. 2x squared minus 6x plus 2y squared plus 2y is equal to 45. Right? So the first thing I'll do is try and simplify this equation by dividing the equation by 2. When you divide the equation by 2, the 2 will divide each term. So to be like divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, divide by 2, and divide by 2. All right? And then this simplifies to x squared minus 3x plus y squared plus y is equal to 45 over 2. All right? Now, the next step is to try and complete the squares for the x term, the x terms and also the y terms. And you're going to do this side by side, right? So if I take the x terms, I'm going to bring it over here so I have space, right? To complete the squares for the x terms, you divide the coefficient of x by 2 and then try and write the equation like this: x minus 3 over 2, right? So the coefficient of x has been divided by 2, all squared, right? Here, once I do this, if I expand this, it will give me these two terms plus a 9 over 4, right? If you expand this, it will introduce a 9 over 4, right? But I can't leave it like that because then I've totally, destroyed the equation. So I have to neutralize the introduced 9 over 4 by subtracting 9 over 4, right? So this whole thing here is equivalent to this, or is exactly equal to this, right? So with this, we've dealt with the x terms. Now let's go to the y terms. We have our plus sign here. For the y terms, like we did before, we divide the coefficient of y by 2. So that will be half, right? And then we're going to write y plus half all squared. And once we do this, if you expand this, you will notice that there will be an additional 1/4 introduced from here, right? It's going to be y squared plus y plus 1/4, right? So we neutralize that by subtracting 1/4. So with this, I've dealt with the left-hand side of the equation. Now the right-hand side, I have what? 45 over 2. So now we continue. We solve this, the way we solve our regular algebra. So I'm going to add 9 over 4 to this, and what? 1/4, right? And do the same thing on the right hand side. So I'm going to add 9 over 4 and also 1/4. All right. So on the left hand side, I'll have x minus 3 over 2 all squared. And then I have these two neutralize each other because there's a minus and a plus. And then I bring this plus in. I have y plus half all squared, right? Minus quarter plus quarter neutralize each other. So I move on to the right hand side. I have 45 over 2. And then I have these two other additions that are here. All right. So with this, all we have to do now, if you look at it, it's getting closer to the standard format. We have on the left hand side, right? There's a big space here, but no worries, right? And then the right hand side. So this right hand side here is going to give us the r squared that we're looking for, and from that we will calculate what r is, right? So let's try and solve this fraction, right? What you can do is, to establish the common denominator is multiply the first one by 2 and then by 2, the numerator and denominator of the first fraction by 2. So that will become 90 over 4 plus 9 over 4 plus 1/4. And this solves to 90 plus 9 plus 1 is 100. And then the denominator is 4. 100 over 4 is what? 25. And once again, remember, this 25 is actually r squared, just like the standard equation says. It's r squared. So what is r? R is the square root of r squared, right? So you take the square root of both sides. So r is equal to 5. And that's our answer, A, right? So just know how to do the completing the squares. If you're able to do it, you'll be able to do this quickly. I had to take some time to explain, but the completing of the squares part is the most important. And also, you can put the standard equation of the circle on an index card, or actually know how to derive it. If you know how to derive it, you don't even have to, try and memorize it. You will just know it. Just know that this is the center, right? And then you're heading towards the radius, right? So from this, we weren't asked to find the center, but a question may come where instead of the radius, they will ask you to find the center, right? So if you have to find the center, just as you see here, right? It says minus h minus k, right? So our h here is what? 3 over 2. Our k here is what? Minus half, right? You just do comparison with the general equation. The standard equation. All right?